Hey, good morning, everybody. Sarasota Tim coming to you from Boynton Beach, Florida. I'm going down Federal Highway here south towards Ocean Avenue, where I'm going to go over to the beach and park at Hammock Park. And I was going to get out and walk around and talk to you guys, get out of my office here. But I couldn't wait. I'm so excited today because it's early in the morning. What time is it? It's already late, 8:30 in the morning. And I wanted to remind you guys that if you woke up this morning, remember what we got to do. Don't watch the news. They have a narrative on there that they just want you to believe, and they keep pounding it. And they're reading a script. They're all reading a script. And it's all about distraction and brainwashing and all that. Don't believe it. Because when you turn it off and you come out here and you meet your neighbors, you actually find that you have a lot more in common than what they would like you to believe. And what I wanted to encourage you and say this morning, before I got onto that news stuff, was remember when you get up to thank God that you are alive and that you are healthy. I mean, I just started realizing how much wealth that I actually do have. I mean, just think, I'm almost 65. God has blessed me so much in the last couple of months when I decided to quit drinking. And the energy and the gains that I've made from going to the gym and my whole personal life with Miss Tammy and the opportunities with doors being open for side hustle work, the people that I'm meeting at these gigs that I'm doing, I have a good self-esteem because I'm wearing some nice clothes again, like I did way back in the day when I was in the car business. In those days, like today, you go to a car lot, they're all wearing polo shirts and, you know, even short pants some places, but it's very relaxed. And in my day, it was like when people used to go to church, you didn't show up in church casually dressed. You either wore a suit or you didn't go there, at least a Baptist church. But that's not a big deal. I'm not saying you gotta dress up with a tie to go to a church today. But in the car business back in those days, I wore 3-piece suits, nice ties. Guys would come around in vans when I lived in San Diego, and they would sell ties and suits and shirts and pants and everything. And you know, we wore a cross pin. We were making pretty good money. You know, like if you made $3,000 or $5,000 a month back in the 70s and the early 80s, you were bringing down some darn good money. And we had guys where I worked in the car business that did make that kind of money. I never did. I eventually had some good months later in my career. I was 17 years in it, but early on, I always just esteemed and admired these guys that had these really nice gabardine pants and slacks, and you know, they wore the Basswegian shoes, and you know, they had their cross pin, even Rolexes, because they weren't as expensive then as they are today. And I thought, man, if I could ever get to those guys' status. So I was always an ambitious person in my life, and you know, it always made me. So what I'm trying to say is, dressing up a little bit with my little bow tie and the shirts and the vest, it really does make you feel good. And I can't even walk into the Publix without people looking at me and, you know, smiling. Like, well, who are you? I'm pushing this cart with a table and stuff, and they know that I'm not grocery shopping. So, you know, you get this, I hate to use the word respect, but you get this sort of a respect. I mean, if you saw anybody dressed up really nice, you know, you would admire it, right? You like a nice dressed person, a lady, or a man. And so it really feels good to do that. And it feels good about my sobriety. And one of the biggest things that I really like, that I feel good about, because God says, you know, of all these things, love is the most. All the love that I've been getting in the comments from you people that are so genuine and real comments. And, you know, they're not just one sentences. Some people really go to the extent and say some very kind things. So the truth of the matter is, if you have all this money in these big fine homes, and you see people that can barely get in and out of their cars, or they walk slow, and I'm not disparaging or making fun of people like that, but it seems like that life, the best quality of their life, where you can get out and walk down the road, run down the road, whatever you want to do, go to the gym and pick up some good weight, be a vibrant person. I mean, what's that worth to you? How much of their wealth would they sacrifice? I know they'd sacrifice it all if they were laying in a bed horizontal, but what would you sacrifice if you were really wealthy to have some youth back, some years back, to where you could, have that health back that you've deteriorated? So I'm appreciative of my self-esteem. I look pretty young for my age, a few years younger, and I still have my hair, and I still, I got a girlfriend, and I got this camper that I own. It's the only home I've ever owned, but it's like I own it, and it's insured, and we may do some travel with it now soon, and that's going to be a new dynamic and a new exciting thing that I have the ambition still to do that and want to do that. And I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to get everybody's hopes up, because don't ever count tomorrow when it hasn't come yet. But we are contemplating and planning, the more we think about it. I mean, what good would it do to keep putting things off? What good does it do you to keep putting things off from taking that cruise, taking that trip, making that move, quitting that job, drawing that Social Security, joining that gym, cutting that cable, switching your wireless? What good does it do to keep saying no, even switching your auto insurance like that commercial? Sorry about the light and the line there. What good does any of these things do? Well, cumulatively, if you don't do any of them, I just mentioned a whole list there. If you don't do any of those, and you can, then you're really missing out. So don't let it overwhelm you. Like, I woke up this morning and I started talking to Tammy about maybe towing the camper, but I know before I hook it up, I have to get that brake controller. You know how small of a deal that is? But I was letting it kind of overwhelm me, because I was thinking, well, I don't want to pay somebody. It seems like on YouTube it looks pretty simple. I can just take this screw out down here and this panel off, and I can do it myself. But where do I buy it? I want to buy the right one. And it's just like you let things become monumental when they're really very simple tasks. Picking up the phone or downloading that app to Visible Wireless. Now that one, congratulations to all of you. My phone has been non-stop. And I know it's because of the video I said about getting on Visible Wireless. Non-stop, I kid you not. I must have had 12 yesterday. Congratulations, $20 off your next month. But like I said, I've been maxed out at 12 months, which is the most you can get. They don't let you roll them over or get more than that. But every time they take my bill out, if someone gets on Visible, that gives me that one, and I'm back to 12 months again. So I've been at 12 months, $20 off for 2 years. So my bill's only $5 a month. So thank you very much for all those that have joined. You got your $20 off too. It was a win-win. And even if you don't turn anybody onto it, you're down to $25 a month now. And you have that hotspot. You can even call that cable company and tell them to come take that wireless router out of your house. Everybody on your phone, regardless of who you have as a carrier, even if you don't switch to Visible, do this on your phone. Go to Settings and go to Cellular and click on Cellular, and make sure you have toggled on your Android or your iPhone Wi-Fi calling on. And it might come up with a little prompt about if you do this, this or that. It doesn't cost you anything. Do it. What Wi-Fi calling is, if you are in a bad area where the cellular towers, you're talking to somebody and it's like, you know, but if you're in someone's house or you're in a coffee shop and they have Wi-Fi and you're calling someone that's also in a coffee shop or they're at home with their Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi takes over from the cellular towers, giving you a much better and reliable connectivity. And so you won't experience any drop calls or whatever. Also, I love this. You got to take me up on it. Try to break that frown and grin and smile and look at every single person you walk by and smile at them and say, how you doing? Or hello, or give them a little nod. You gentlemen, you see another gentleman, go out of your way you start it. If you're just passing by real quick, show them that you are a friendly person that they experienced. Let them feel that vibe. Spread it around. So smile. And when you do get into a little short conversation with somebody, don't be phony, but look for their attribute. Look for what they're wearing, how their hair looks, or their nail polish, or their shoes, or a nice timepiece, or, a shirt. You can even ask a guy. Somebody asked me, hey, do you mind if I ask where you get your haircut? It's got a nice haircut. I mean, people, when you personally saying something to them that you like about them, that just reinforces why they're wearing that, why they do that, and that makes them feel so good. And you are aces in their book. And so do that each morning. Don't watch the news. Say a little prayer. Just say it in your mind. If you feel like getting down on your knees and you're alone, nobody sees you on your soapbox, you think that that's going to, be better, and probably is. Your Father sees that. Make time to, don't forget, a 30-second or a 30-minute prayer somewhere. Just acknowledge Him. Let Him know that, and ask Him for protection today. I always say that. I always say, please don't let me get any tickets, accidents, car trouble. Help me to see you in my life today. Put somebody in my life, cross my path with somebody that I can help or encourage. And He will. You want to be a good worker? Ask for a job. And He'll put you to work. But if you're going to wake up with a frown and look at the media and start complaining to everything, complain to your neighbor, complain to your spouse. If you just want to be grumpy and, not fresh looking and, comb your hair. If you need a haircut, go get a haircut. Come on. Make yourself feel good. It's not for me. It's not for the other people. Look in the mirror and you say, oh, I like my haircut. I started cutting my hair like this recently, and I got a few compliments about it. I'm like, well, I better start keeping my hair like this. I do like it. It's very easy to keep clean. My shampoo, I only have to use this much. And, I hate to keep harping on it. And I don't hate, that's a bad word. I don't want to offend anyone watching me right now, that I have to say God. Other people that do motivation or encouragement or positive thinking, they dance all around it. They say everything but God. They just talk about thinking positive and, doing this or that. And all it is basically, obeying the Word of God and doing the things He talks about. Love. So I'm sorry. And, I'm not being dogmatic about what particular denomination or anything, because if you're a Catholic, you're a Christian. If you're a Baptist, you're a Christian. Your Christian is Christian. I don't know about these other things out there, but, people can't help it. If they were born into the world and their parents taught them a religion. I don't like when people teach their kids, that there's no religion, because then they can't make up their mind, when they get some facts or when they grow up to decide for themselves, But if they've already got it pounded into them from the time they were born that this is the way, no way, nothing, you go for that. I don't know, man. That's kind of sad to me, it really is. Because, you're forcing something on somebody. If you don't want to believe, or you don't believe, no one's going to make you believe. But anyway, I don't want to go on that. I'm pissing people off right now. I know it. Sorry. But I know what's going on with me and my positiveness that I'm experiencing at this point in my life is from one thing. It's not Tim. It's not because I quit drinking and I can think clearly now. It's not because my YouTube channel has grown and I've got 30-something thousand subscribers and everybody's saying some nice things to me. It makes me feel good. It's God has stepped into my life and he has touched my life because I asked him to, and he's always done things for me in my life, but he's taken me into another level, and this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. I've got some things that I think that I can share to encourage those others out there that they can have a life and enrich their lives so that they don't just retire and die without anything but a check coming in. And they can start experiencing the high quality, the high life, high in your mind, happiness, and seeing the reciprocation of giving love. And by eschewing and purging clutter, propaganda, debt, all of these things that are no good, not healthy, signing up for more debt, there's nothing better than freedom. We live in a free country. And so live as free as you can. Get out of debt and clear your mind. It's not a garbage can. I always say that. Don't let people dump garbage into your mind. Resist that. People try to get to me sometimes in the comments, and I've already changed my mind now. It took me a few days because, I'm sensitive. I bleed when you cut me. And there were some terrible things said, even about Miss Tammy. And I wonder how old these people are and why they do it. But I'm not going to concern myself. I don't care what I read now. You could put, I'm not going to, it won't bother me. It'll just be deleted. That's all. Period. The end. But I'm not going to spend any time on it. I let a little bit of time be spent to that. I made a couple of videos about it. But now I've learned, because you've even told me, you've encouraged me, you've reciprocated. And everybody can't be wrong. So, and even regarding the content that I put out, or as many videos as I might want to put out, everybody can't be wrong. If the majority like it, and you've got a few that are, trying to push back, then I have to go, especially if I know the majority is good. So that's the direction I'm going to go. And I'm going to keep forging ahead. And I'm going to keep every day encouraging you to crush it.